My girlfriend thought it'd be funny to put a "will work for food" sign on my back at my family barbecue. I laughed it off, then quietly left. The next morning, she woke up to a moving truck outside. For the last 8 months, my life has been controlled demolition and reconstruction. I got laid off from my senior operations manager position after 14 years, good job, solid salary, but corporate downsizing got me. Instead of jumping back into the grind immediately, I decided to bet on myself. I took part of my severance and started my own supply chain consulting firm, working from the spare bedroom I converted into an office. The work is brutal, hours are endless, and income is maybe a quarter of what I used to make. I knew it would be rough, but I believed in what I was building. My girlfriend of 3.5 years, Amanda, didn't share my optimism. She'd gotten very comfortable with the lifestyle my old salary provided. Nice dinners twice a week, weekend trips to wine country, that expensive Pilates membership she used maybe twice. My new reality as a startup founder wasn't nearly as glamorous. Her support quickly morphed into quiet, simmering resentment that bubbled up as little jokes and passive-aggressive comments. She started referring to my business as Jake's little project and asking when I'd get a real job again at least once a week. I tried to ignore it, told myself she was just stressed about the uncertainty. I kept my head down, worked 18-hour days, poured everything into making this succeed. I thought if I could just show her it was working, she'd come around. Our annual family barbecue, a tradition for as long as I can remember, was scheduled at my house this year. Big event. Parents, siblings, their spouses, whole swarm of nieces and nephews. I love hosting it. Feels good providing space for everyone to come together. I spent the whole morning prepping, cleaning the yard, getting the smoker going for brisket. Amanda was in this weird mood all morning, mix of overly sweet and strangely giddy. I should have seen it as a warning. The party started around 1 p.m. I was at the grill flipping burgers, talking with my dad about the business, feeling relaxed for the first time in weeks. I was in my element, surrounded by people who loved me, or so I thought. While my back was turned to the crowd, focused on not burning anything, Amanda came up behind me. I felt her tape something to my shirt. Figured it was some silly prank, maybe kiss the cook or something. I heard her college friends, she'd brought 3 of them, start giggling nearby. For the next hour, I walked around my own party completely unaware. I mingled with family, refilled drinks, played cornhole with my nephews. I noticed some strange looks, hushed whispers, but brushed them off. Thought people were just happy to see me relaxed. The moment of discovery was a gut punch I'll never forget. My 8-year-old niece Sophie tugged on my shorts, confused look on her face. She pointed to my back. "Uncle Jake, what does desperate mean?" I froze. My brother Michael, standing nearby, suddenly looked furious and ripped the sign off my back. Showed it to me. Big, crudely drawn sign on cardboard made to look like something a homeless person would hold. In thick black marker, "Will work for food, unemployed and desperate. Please help. My girlfriend pays for everything." Blood drained from my face. This wasn't just a joke. It was calculated, vicious, deeply personal attack on my character, my work ethic, my temporary vulnerability. And she'd done it in front of my entire family. Before I could even react, my sister came over with her phone, expression horrified. "Jake, look at this." She showed me Amanda's latest Instagram story. Picture of me taken from behind, standing at the grill with that despicable sign on my back. Her caption, "Putting the new hubby to work, gotta earn his keep. Unemployed and loving it, charity case." I looked across the yard and saw Amanda laughing with her friends. She caught my eye and gave me a playful wink like we were sharing some hilarious secret. In that instant, 3.5 years of relationship evaporated. All the love I thought I had for her, all the excuses I'd made, it curdled into something cold and hard. But I didn't explode, didn't yell or cause a scene. That's what she wanted, big dramatic reaction that would make me look unstable, proving her point. I refused to give her the satisfaction. I looked at my family, who were all watching with concern, and forced a laugh. "Wow," I said, shaking my head. "She's got quite a sense of humor, huh? Little dark for my taste, but what are you gonna do?" I clapped my brother on the shoulder. "Thanks for the heads up, man." I went on with the party for another hour like nothing happened. Played catch with the kids, talked to my mom about her garden, was the perfect host. Amanda seemed almost disappointed by my lack of reaction, but inside my head a plan was forming. Calm, quiet, final plan. Around 5 p.m., I told my sister I was getting a bad headache and needed to lie down. Told everyone to stay, enjoy the food and pool. I went inside, grabbed my keys and wallet, walked out the side door, got in my truck and just drove. Didn't go far. Drove to a quiet hotel about 15 minutes away and checked in. From that sterile hotel room, I made one phone call. Professional moving company specializing in short-notice overnight jobs. Explained the situation, briefly needed a crew to pack up and remove one person's belongings from a two-bedroom house. Needed them there at 7 a.m. sharp. Amanda thinks I'm in the spare bedroom sulking. Thinks I'll get over it, we'll have a fight, then everything goes back to normal. Back to her quiet digs and my patient tolerance. She has no idea I'm not even in the house. No idea I've already set consequences for her actions in motion. She thinks she humiliated me. She's about to learn what true humiliation feels like. When she wakes up tomorrow, her entire life with me will be packed in the back of a moving truck. The next morning, I was parked down the street from my own house at 6:45 a.m., sipping gas station coffee. Watched the large moving truck pull up right at 7:00, exactly as requested. I walked up, met Frank, the crew leader, big guy with kind eyes, and used my key to let them into the quiet house. Amanda was still asleep in the master bedroom, completely oblivious. I'd prepared a detailed, itemized list for Frank and his team. Specified exactly what needed packing: all women's clothing and shoes from the master closet, personal items from the master bathroom, entire contents of the spare room she'd converted to her office, several boxes clearly labeled Amanda in the garage. I was being meticulous. Didn't want any accusations of theft or damage. The crew was professional, moving with quiet efficiency I appreciated. They started in the spare room. About 20 minutes in, sounds of their work, quiet murmur of voices, squeak of packing tape finally woke Amanda up. I was standing in the living room when she emerged from the bedroom wearing one of my old T-shirts. Hair was a mess, face puffy from sleep. She saw two movers carefully wrapping her computer monitor and froze. Expression shifted from sleepy confusion to pure panicked disbelief. "Jake, what's going on?" she demanded, voice rising. "Who are these people? What's happening?" I took a sip of coffee, looked at her with completely neutral expression. "They're movers, Amanda. You're moving out." "Moving out?" she shrieked, voice cracking. "What are you talking about? Are you insane? Is this because of that stupid joke yesterday?" "It wasn't a joke," I said, voice dangerously quiet. "It was a public statement. You made it very clear what you think of me. I'm simply accepting it. People you live with, your family, you don't humiliate them for sport. That's something you do to a stranger or roommate you don't like. So this roommate is asking you to leave." I pulled out my phone, showed her the screenshot of her social media post. Picture of me with the sign, hateful caption, laughing emojis from her friends. "This isn't something you come back from, Amanda." She started crying then, but it wasn't remorse. It was the sound of a child having her favorite toy taken away. "You can't do this. Half this stuff is mine. We built this life together." "Let's be very clear," I said, taking a step closer. "You didn't build anything. You were a resident. I owned this house 2 years before I even met you. You haven't contributed a single dollar to mortgage or bills in 3.5 years we've been together. You're welcome to take every single item you personally purchased with your own money. The movers have a list. They'll deliver your belongings to any address you provide within 50 miles. I suggest you start making phone calls." Her entire world was visibly crumbling. She sputtered, trying to find an argument. "My car, the furniture, the TV." "My car, my furniture, my TV," I corrected gently. "I've already been to the bank this morning. Your name's been removed from our joint account. The supplementary credit card you've been using has been canceled. The financial arrangement you found so amusing yesterday is now over." She sank onto the arm of the couch, face in her hands, let out a sound that was half sob, half scream. I felt nothing. No pity, no satisfaction. Just quiet, resolute emptiness. I'd given her every chance to show me basic respect, and she'd responded by trying to make me a laughingstock in front of people I care about most. The movers continued working, professionally ignoring the drama unfolding in the living room. Took them about 2 hours to load everything. During that time, Amanda made frantic whispered phone calls from the back patio. First her friends, the ones who'd laughed so hard at her prank, could guess from her side of conversations they weren't offering spare bedrooms. Then finally, the call I knew she was dreading, she called her parents. When the truck was fully loaded, Frank came to me with a clipboard. "We have an address, sir, place in Riverside, her parents' house." Of course. I walked over to Amanda, sitting on the front steps with her head in her hands. "The truck's ready to go," I said, handed her a small box containing toiletries and phone charger. "I believe this is everything." She looked up, eyes red and swollen. "You're really going to do this? Throw away 3.5 years over one stupid prank?" "You threw it away, Amanda, not me. You just didn't realize it until now." I watched the moving truck pull away from the curb, carrying the last remnants of a life I no longer wanted. Amanda stood on the sidewalk looking small and lost, waiting for her parents to make the 30-minute drive to pick her up. I went back inside my house, closed the door, and for the first time in a very long time I was truly home. It's been 4 months since the barbecue. The silence in my house was the first thing I noticed. For years, it had been filled with Amanda's noise, her music, endless phone calls, reality shows I had no interest in. Now all I could hear was the quiet hum of the refrigerator and my own thoughts. It was strange and wonderful peace. The fallout was swift. My family called immediately. Mom was worried I'd acted rashly. Dad was quietly furious on my behalf. I sat them down, calmly explained everything, not just the barbecue prank, but the constant subtle erosion of respect over the past year. When my mom saw that charity case caption, her worry turned to cold anger I'd rarely seen. They understood. They didn't see my actions as revenge. They saw them as self-preservation. Amanda's smear campaign was clumsy and ineffective. She and her friends posted vague complaints about toxic men and crazy exes. Didn't work. Too many people had witnessed the prank firsthand. The story spreading through our circles wasn't the one she was trying to sell. About a week after she moved out, I received a certified letter from a lawyer. List of demands, half the furniture value, compensation for emotional distress, demanding I continue car payments since it was in my name. My response was simple. My lawyer sent back documentation. Copy of house deed dated 2 years before I met her. Bank statements showing I'd paid for all furniture from my personal account. Detailed accounting of nearly $12,000 she'd charged to my supplementary card for non-essentials. We included her social media post and stated that if she wanted to pursue the matter, we'd be happy to see her in court where we'd file counterclaims for money owed and defamation based on her posts. Never heard from her lawyer again. Without my income supporting her, Amanda's world collapsed. She couldn't afford car payments, so I gave her a choice: refinance in her name or I'd sell it. No bank would give her a loan, so I sold the car, paid off the remaining balance, mailed her a check for the difference, little under $800. She's still living with her parents. I hear bits through the grapevine. Had to get a retail job. Her influencer dreams are dead. Her friends stopped coming around once she couldn't afford expensive dinners. Humiliation isn't so funny when you're the one living it. But the most satisfying part has nothing to do with her. It's about me. That layoff, which felt like failure, turned out to be the best thing that happened. Free from constant stress and financial drain of my relationship with Amanda, I poured all energy into my consulting business. 3 months ago, I landed my first major client, regional distribution company needing complete logistics overhaul. Massive contract, more than I dared hope for. Last month landed another one. My little project is now a legitimate, thriving business. I've hired my first employee, working just as hard, but now it's for myself. The success is mine. The respect is mine. I hosted another barbecue last weekend. Not big family affair, just small celebration for the business contracts. Parents, siblings, closest friends. Atmosphere was light and happy. We talked and laughed, and no one made jokes at my expense. Standing at the grill wearing a simple, comfortable t-shirt, my dad came over and stood beside me, just watched for a minute, then clapped me on the shoulder. "Jake, I haven't seen you look this happy in years. It's good to have you back." He was right. I'd been gone for a long time, lost in a relationship slowly erasing me. The prank, cruel as it was, didn't destroy me. It saved me. Forced me to see the truth and act on it. Amanda thought she was putting a sign on my back that said I was worthless. What she really did was give me a sign that said it was time to move on. For that, I suppose I should be grateful. If you enjoyed this story about quiet dignity in the face of public humiliation, subscribe for more insights about recognizing disrespect and responding with strength. Remember, when someone mocks your struggles for social media content, that's not partnership, that's just cruelty with better lighting.